Alright, so I have here 1 minus 4m is greater than or equal to negative 19. So I'm going to go letters on the left, numbers on the right. So I'm going to take over this 1, and I'm going to take it over to the right hand side by minusing negative 1. So this could cross out, and then I'll have minus negative 1 here. I'm left with negative 4m greater than or equal to negative 19. Subtract by negative 1 will give me negative 20. Then I'm going to divide by negative 4 because I want m by itself. I'm going to divide negative 4 here, divide by negative 4 here. This cancels out the negative 4 on the left-hand side. I'm going to be left with just m. Now notice that I am dividing by a negative. So whenever you divide by a negative, this sign, unless it's an equal sign, which it's not, it's the greater than sign, it has to switch to the opposite direction. So instead of being greater than or equal to, it's now going to become less than or equal to. Okay, so that only happens when you're dividing by a negative. Okay, so now I have negative 20 divided by negative 4. That's going to give me positive, because negative and a negative becomes a positive, 5. Okay, so now let's check this. So this statement here says that m is any number that is less than or greater to 5. So I'm going to have my number line here. Here's 0. 5 is going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my 5. Okay. Then m can be any number as long as it is less than or equal to 5. So any number down this number line down here, and this will go on for eternity, any of these numbers here could work in this equation. Okay, so I'm going to pick some random number here. I'm going to pick a 2. Why not? Okay, because this here falls under any of the numbers that are less than or equal to 5. I can't pick a 6, can't pick an 8, can't pick 364 because that's all greater than 5. Here it's saying m is less than or equal to 5. Okay, so that's why I'm going to pick a 2 to check. Okay, so here's my check over here. So wherever I see an m, I'm going to insert this 2. Okay, so m is going to equal to 2 for my check. So 1 minus 4, and I'm going to insert a 2 here, less than or equal to negative 19. So let's figure this one out. I have 1, negative 4 times by 2, that's going to be negative 8. Write out the rest. 1 subtract by 8, that's going to give me negative 7, negative 19. So let me just draw this one out here in my little timeline here. I'm going to have 0 here. Now I'm going to have negative 7 right over here. So that's 1, 2. Here's my negative 7. And I'm going to have negative 19. Somewhere down here is going to be where my negative 19 is. Okay? So this statement is saying that negative 7 is greater than or equal to negative 19. Remember, the right hand side of the number line, that's going to be your positive. That's going to be your greater. Okay? And then in the left hand of the number sign, that's going to continuously get smaller. So this is going to be the less than. So is negative 7 greater than negative 19? Yes, it is. It is greater than negative 19 because it's to the right of negative 19. So this statement is right. Alright, so in this equation I have 7m minus 13 is greater than or equal to 4m plus 17. Alright, so letters on the left, numbers on the right. So I'm going to minus 4m here, minus 4m here. That's going to cross out my 4m. I'm going to have 3m on this side. Subtract by 13, less than or equal to whatever's left, plus 17, or just 17. Numbers on the right. Add by 13. Add by 13. No more 13 on the left hand side. 3m greater than or equal to 17 plus 13. That's going to give me 30. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Notice that I'm dividing by a positive number, so I don't have to switch this. I'm going to keep it as is. So that crosses out my 3 on the left hand side. I'm going to have m, not changing my greater than or equal to. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So for my check, I'm going to choose any number for m that is greater than or equal to 10. So what number is greater than or equal to 10 that I could use? Let's use 11, for example. So I'm going to have my equation, my original equation, and wherever I see an m, I'm going to put an 11. So I'm going to put an 11 here, minus 13, 4, 11, add by 17. Okay? So this is going to turn out to 77 minus 13, 44 plus 17. 77 minus 13 is going to be 64, greater than or equal to 44 add by 17 is going to give me 61. Now let's look at this equation. Is 64 greater than 61? Yes, it is. So this is correct. So I have 1 over 2r plus 2 is less than or equal to 3/4 r minus 3. So I want to get rid of these denominators, and what I could do to get rid of them is multiply every single term here by the greatest common factor. Greatest common factor between 2 and 4 is actually 4, so I'm going to multiply everything by 4 to get rid of the denominator. This now cancels out, and I'm left with 2, whatever is left in the brackets, 1r. Add by 4 times by 2, 8, less than or equal to, this 4 cancels out, then I'm just left with 3r, minus 4 times by 3, that's 12. Clean this guy up here, 2r, add by 8, less than or equal to 3r minus 12. Letters on the left, minus 3r, cancels out, that's just negative r. Numbers on the right, subtract by 8, subtract by 8. So I'm left with negative r, less than or equal to negative 12 subtract by 8. That's going to give me negative 20. Then I want to get rid of this negative beside the r, so I'm going to divide by negative 1, divide this side by negative 1. This cancels out the negative next to the r. Okay, since I am dividing by a negative 1, a negative number, I have to flip this sign. So right now it says less than or equal to, so I'm going to flip it now to greater than or equal to, okay? Because I'm dividing by a negative. If this was a positive, I did not have to flip it. But since it's a negative, I have to flip it. So I have negative 20, divide by negative 1. A negative and a negative becomes a positive. 20 divided by 1 is just 20. So in order to check this, r has to be any number that is equal to or greater than 20. So what number is equal to or greater than 20? I'm going to choose 24 right now. Okay, because I could see that 24 will actually work out easily with these fractions. So that's why I chose 24. So I have here 1/2. Wherever I see an r, I'm going to put a 24. So 24. Add by 2. Less than or equal to 3/4 times by 24 minus 3. Okay, and I'm going to work this guy out here. So this is 1/2 of 24. So if you know half of 24 is 12, or we could do this a little bit longer, I could say these are two fractions. I have 1 over 2 times by 24 over 1. 1 times by 24 is 24. 2 times by 1 is 2. Add by, here's my 2 here. And I'm going to work this out same way. 3 times by 24 is 72 over 4 minus 3. Now 24 divided by 2 is 12. Add by 2. 74 divided by 4 is 18. Okay, now 12 plus 2, that's 14. 18 minus 3, that's 15. Now let's look at the equation. This says here 14 is less than or equal to 15. Is 14 less than 15? Yes, it is. So my answer for R here is correct. Alright, so I have here 2k minus 3 in brackets 4 minus 8 is less than 5 in brackets 6k minus 8 minus 3 in brackets 5 plus k. So first things first, let us distribute all of these numbers that are beside the brackets to open up my brackets. I'm going to have here 2k minus 12, add by 24k, 30k, subtract by 40, subtract by 15, subtract by 30k. Clean up time. I'm going to combine 2k and 24k. That's going to give me 26k minus 12. 30 and negative 3k. I'm going to have 27k. Oops. Negative 40, negative 15, negative 55. And then let's put letters on the left. Subtract by 27k, subtract by 27k. This is gone. I'm going to be left with just negative k, or negative 1k. Write the rest down. Add by 12, add by 12. This is gone, negative k. Negative 55, add by 12. That's going to give me negative 43. Okay, now I want to get rid of this negative sign here. So I'm going to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. Again, I'm dividing by a negative sign, so I have to flip this guy. Unless this is an equal sign, since it's not, it's a less than sign, I have to flip it. So I'm going to flip this the other way around. Negative and negative becomes a positive, so I'm going to just have k here. Negative, negative again becomes a positive. 43 divided by 1 is just a 43. So this equation here says that k is any number that is greater than 43. Alright, so here I have 3e plus 2, square brackets, 4 minus 5, in brackets, 2 minus e, close the round, close the square bracket, is greater than 12, open bracket, e minus 2. So let us distribute this negative 5 to open up the innermost brackets here. So I have here 3e plus 2 in brackets 4 negative 10 plus 5e less than, let's distribute this 12 here. So I'm going to have 12e negative 24. Now let us clean this guy up here right now instead of me distributing the 2 here. So I'm going to have 3e plus 2. I'm going to clean up this square bracket. 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Okay, now let's distribute this 2. Okay, now let us combine my e's. Now, letters on the left. Okay, and numbers on the right. Negative 24 add by 12 is going to give me negative 12. So this is saying e is any number that is greater than negative 12.